Hi, I'm Angela Love. I'm an independent consultant in the energy market. I was chairman of the Gas Forum for 3 years, from 2003 until 2006. Prior to that time, I was also on the executive committee for 1 year from 2002. A lot has changed in that time. Firstly, the forum's meetings used to take place at iGEM's very grand offices in Portland Place, around the corner from BBC Broadcasting House. I did find it somewhat bizarre to be sharing the table with the Queen and other members of the royal family who adorned the walls. Equal to that was the fact that the chairs were like thrones, certainly different from the way the meetings are held today. At my very first ever meeting of the Forum Executive in 2001, I was actually asked to leave. Unbeknown to me, I had been asked to attend by the company I was working for, despite not being a member of the executive. As I entered the room late and got my papers from my case, I was asked to leave. I didn't think it was a very positive sign, but I left with a member of the executive committee. I was then asked if I would leave because I wasn't a member of the executive itself. However, from that point on, I knew that I would become a member of the executive, as it couldn't be all men forever. That said, the Forum is more progressive than some of the boards that I have sat on. At least their first email to me wasn't to invite my wife to dinner. Much as I have a supportive husband, I think even he would have drawn the line at wearing a dress, even if it was in the interests of gas safety. I subsequently joined the Forum the following year in 2002 and worked for members for 4 years. During my tenure as chairman, there were key achievements delivered by the Forum and its members. I will explain the number of these to demonstrate the work that the Forum does. The creation of the Supply Point Administration Agreement, the SPAA, which formalised the Domestic Code of Practice and brought robust governance arrangements into this arena. I myself chaired and was involved in a number of work groups, including the inclusion of gas transporters and creation of the legal contract. The shipper and supplier interface and input to the gas network distribution sale. This included the first ever Freedom of Information Act request, which I will come back to later, and myself and other members of the executive providing evidence to the National Audit Office. Attending the House of Lords Committee on the Accountability of Regulators, where myself and the then chairman provided evidence along with the electricity producers to peers. The update of the Forum's newsletter, creating a robust format for the newsletter which informed members and subscribers of developments in the industry. The right of appeal under the Energy Act 2004, where we worked with other trade associations in the sector to gain the right of appeal on code modification decisions. The review of gas trading arrangements, the delivery of the NTS exit reform, which was subsequently challenged to the Competition Commission using the right of appeal that we had included in the Energy Act. The IGT work group. The Gas Forum has operated the IGT work group for many years, and I actually chaired it for 2 years. During my time at the Forum, I convinced Ofgem of the need to review IGT charging, which resulted in the introduction of the relative price control. The AQ review process was also introduced for IGTs, bringing them more in line with Transco as was. The GemServe contract. Also during my time at the Forum, the contract for services was placed with GemServe, which significantly changed the way in which the Forum operated and seen it move to the City as its base. Finally, another highlight was the Forum's involvement in security of supply discussions in the winter of 2005-06, where I represented members in discussions with the Prime Minister's Senior Policy Advisor at Downing Street on ensuring that if there were any supply disruptions, that the issues could be minimised. This also linked into the Energy Emergencies Committee, which the Forum has been involved in since its inception, from when it was called the Gas and Electricity Industry Emergencies Committee. Although I have outlined some of the achievement of the Forum during my time as chairman, I have always believed that what makes the Forum a success is the work and dedication of its members. None of the elements I have outlined would have been delivered without the effort and enthusiasm of the members. It was always my pleasure to work with them, and I enjoyed it enormously. Don't get me wrong, there were times of frustration when, for example, I had to defend a jovial story about a combined harvester in the newsletter. Equally, there were laughs along the way when, at the 10th anniversary event, I found myself competing with Lib Dem Simon Hughes on an open-top London bus, campaigning to be London Mayor. Needless to say, he couldn't drown out a good Glaswegian voice. The Forum has always been at the forefront of developments. You'll remember me mentioning the first ever Freedom of Information Act request. The Forum submitted this to Ofgem to ascertain the reasons for the authority's decision to approve the gas distribution network sale. Apparently Ofgem had to work literally day and night to deliver this in the timescales, only to deliver 3 boxes of redacted papers to the GemServe office for me. This proves talking to the regulator is most beneficial, as if we had, they would probably have been delivered on time. Thank you very much, and I wish the Forum all the best.